Hey everybody, and welcome back to Hardcore Heroes Arcadia. So, let's discuss exactly again what we're doing.
Okay. Exactly what we're doing
Yep.
is... Right, we fly a little bit lower. We try and find where we think that the entrance might be. Yeah, based on the clairvoyance thing before. And I don't really know how the gem works. Do you have to be like... I mean, if you've got to be like right up close to the wall, then it's obviously not going to be helpful. I'm hoping that I can be quite far away and look at it through the rock through the gem. Maybe I won't see the whole entrance, but maybe I'll see a shimmer of an illusion or something like that. Enough for me to think that there's something going on there. So the plan is to turn into an imp and and fly around the gem, just sort of across this little bit of the mountain range. So like across this bit.
Mm-hmm. Cross that bit, yeah.
Obviously, if there's any movement of something huge, I'm just gonna assume that it can see me and get the fuck out.
Sure.
Can always come back.
So this canyon right in here, where that black line kind of covered everything up, is the area that you think you're centered on. That,
Okay.
from your best guess, that's supposed to be the region where this thing lives, or has its lair, or, the area that you've been scrying on, whatever we want to call that.
And you're telling me that I'd have to go deep within the canyon.
Right, so you're fairly sure it's in there. Let's give you like an 85%, right? And from your scanning above when you're flying, you can't see much in the canyon. The walls are not... Well, the walls are fairly steep. Some areas are just kind of sheer cliff. Some areas are rubble. Other areas are overgrown with trees and bushes and just kind of the wilderness that is this untamed sector.
Yes.
So the obvious areas that are exposed cliffside, you can fly across fairly easily with your Gem of Seeing and try and see if there's an illusion there or not.
Okay. Well, how's about this for a plan then?
Yeah.
While on the flight over here from Shirebrook, let's say I wasn't invisible, do I think that I'd be in danger, or is flying around like a great eagle, I'm generally going to be left alone? Like, I assume I'm really high up and I'm going quick. There's not really much that's gonna...
I mean, you're one of the fastest creatures out there. Even if there was something that wanted to kill you, you could probably just outrun it.
Okay, because I'm thinking of doing something that's going to break my invisibility. So, let me just check the range on a little spell here. It's either a genius idea or a terrible one.
Sometimes there's not much difference.
I'm pretty sure that it's a great idea. So, oh god, wait, no, the range is special. Anywhere within the area of effect, which is a 30-yard radius, so 30 yards away. That's 90 feet in the air. Okay, so could something run from like the length of this canyon in like 10 minutes?
On the ground?
Yeah.
No, definitely not.
Okay. So what I'm gonna... My plan is basically to get within 90 feet of the ground, cast monster summoning, and tell whatever it is to just run down the canyon. And then I'm gonna turn into a bird, fly back up and watch.
Okay. Let's take a quick look here at these things. How long are canyons? Alright, yeah, because this canyon is like a mile and change.
Oh, 10 minutes. I mean, depending on the monster. If I summoned it towards the middle of the canyon, half could go one way and half could go the other.
Alright, so if we were going to call it 1.4 miles, half of it run up the canyon, half of it run down the canyon. Now, canyons are not easy, really, to climb up or down. It's You know, it's
Yeah,
not like a nice straight trail with just a grade on it. There's rocks, there's things to climb over, things to climb under, water. It's a bitch, right? What's the duration of monster summoning?
10 rounds. So this very much depends on what monster I get, right? Because if it can fly, this is a lot easier.
Right. But 10 minutes downhill out of the canyon, you can make pretty good ground. 10 minutes uphill through the canyon, you're not going to get very far at all. Having hiked up lots of canyons in my life.
Okay. Well, maybe then I do a quick bit of maths and place them, 3/4 of the way in or something.
Sure.
So the ones going up have less distance.
Sure. Okay, let's roll on the monster summoning table then. This is monster summoning 1?
Yeah.
Crap, did I put my... Oh, there's my... Things that... What was it? Things that bite, things that sting, things that... That's some cool book name.
Yeah.
Damn chair. Monster summoning 1. Roll me a d12.
All right. 5.
And roll me 2d4. And how are you? You have to land somewhere to cast this spell, right?
90 feet is the range. So.
Okay, so you're gonna need to be in the canyon, or
Well,
maybe
that's
like up a little bit on the ridge to cast it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it depends how tall the walls of the canyon are. Like, if it's like 1,000 feet, then I'm gonna have to be well in.
Mm-hmm.
In which case, that makes it feel a little bit more precarious. But if it's only like 150 feet, then not really. So I guess it depends. But there's my 2d4. 5.
Okay.
And if the walls aren't that steep, they can always start on the cliff.
Alright, will you summon a goblin? Or, more appropriately, you summon 5 goblins.
Cool. And then get back out of the canyon ASAP, right? And watch.
Okay.
And I want to try and get the attention of any terrible dragons that might be living in there.
Alright, so you summon these goblins, you shift yourself back into a giant eagle, take flight, and watch the goblins just kind of vanish into the greenery in the canyon. As you, do circles from above?
I mean, I might perch on top of on the edge of the
Sure.
the wall, yeah. Obviously, I can't see the goblins, but if something huge comes to kill them, I might see that.
Right. You don't see anything huge, but you do spot what appears to be a cluster of smoke mephits that appear over the canopy and then disappear back down. They kind of like pop out, fly above for a little while, and then pop back down. From your perching point, you're a little bit too far away to hear if there's any battle going on or if there's any noises being made down there. You pretty much just have the wind blowing through your eagle ears.
Yeah. Can I identify which part of the canyon they were in?
Yeah, you can see which section of the canyon they popped out of the tree cover from.
Okay. Hey, that's good information. So, if I was trying to find this place, I could go back to that location, right? I could find the canyon, I could find that bit of the canyon.
Yep.
I know that it's got something to do with smoke methods. That's a double whammy on those fuckers now. Alright, let's head back to Shybrook. I'll recast, depending on how much time I've spent here.
Mm-hmm.
If it's been over an hour, then I'll recast Polymorph Self to get back.
Sure. Better safe than sorry. You recast Polymorph Other and get back to base.
Alright, nice. Good investigations here. So the question is, what would summon a smoke method? Are they definitely smoke methods? You've said that, but could they be mist methods?
Maybe. You don't know enough about mephits. There was some sort of smoke around them, or maybe it was a mist.
Yeah, okay.
but some sort of, gaseous thing that obscures sight.
Yeah, right. It's just that everything else has been a mist or a fog, hasn't it? So it would make more sense if it was a mist or a fog, unless it's not related, in which case, why am I even here? No, it is related though. It's definitely related because they were there in the dwarven village. I might do a pass over that village if I can find it on the way back.
Sure. You find the village. It looks a lot more decrepit than the last time you were here.
Yeah.
The wind has kind of been damaging the rooftops. Things are starting to grow.
I might land there
Mm-hmm.
and turn back into me.
Mm-hmm.
Conscious of the time, I've got about 2 hours spare, haven't I, to get back?
Yeah, a lot of time. A lot of time.
I'll just do a quick walk around the village, see if there's any smoke methods.
Nope. No smoke methods anywhere.
I might go and call into where the troll was sleeping. Do you remember?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I might just call into there, see if I can hear anything in there, and if not,
Your own voice echoes back out to you. Hello.
how does the spell Scare work? If I were to cast that in there, would that force anything that was inside to run
You
out?
need a specific target to cast it upon.
Yes. That's a shame. What else have I got that could work? I mean, fuck it. How tight is it? To
The
crawl in?
cave?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to get on your hands and knees. You're gonna get real dirty getting in there.
If I were confronted, though, could I cast a spell? Or am I too cramped
You'd be
not to?
you'd be too cramped to cast anything that requires a somatic component. Unless the cave opens up further back in, but it turns really quickly, so you can't see what it gets it to.
Well, I've been in there, though.
Oh, that's right, you did crawl back. So if you crawl back further in, it does open enough where you feel like you could cast a spell. But the way between where you are now and to that larger inside chamber is
Alright,
no good.
I'm going in with the web spell at the ready in case anything confronts me. I'll just web the whole tunnel up. I'm looking for smoke methods. I'm hunting.
Okay. You crawl back in to this cave. Okay. Cave sounds. Go. This is dungeon sounds. We need cave sound.
Cave sounds. Yeah, this isn't a dungeon. It's nothing like a dungeon.
Nothing like it.
Much safer than a dungeon.
Where is Goblin Cave? Come on. No, there's a Goblin Cave sound here. Definitely. All right, we're just gonna. Oh, here it is. There we go. Okay, you begin to crawl back into this cave.
Yes.
Beautiful. It's kind of tight. Difficult to maneuver in.
I move hastily to where I know it opens up.
Right. You're gonna have to at some point get on your hands and knees and pull yourself across the muddy ground, but you do so without too much problem. What do you use for light?
Stone. Continual light stone.
Oh, the one on your staff?
I haven't got one on my staff. I've just got one.
Okay.
My
You
bag.
pull out the continual light stone to give yourself vision of everything, and soon you find yourself in this larger chamber. I think it was 8 feet across and 10 feet tall or something. And
Yeah.
maybe 12 feet deep. It's irregular shaped, and it's all down or uphill. So you're kind of crawling upwards until you're in this area. There are some bones lying around. Looks mostly
Fresh.
like animal bones. No, old.
Like
Probably
maybe.
from the last time the troll was
Yeah.
here. There's some bats hanging out up on the ceiling. And it smells kind of guano. There's some cockroaches crawling around on the back guano on the ground.
Sure. No smoke methods though.
No smoke methods.
Give one last look around for any like other passages or something like that. Smoke methods are pretty small, so maybe they could be hiding in like a really small tunnel or something.
Give me a perception check, please.
Oh, fail.
Plus 13
Oh yeah.
is 11.
Pass.
21.
Hey.
There you go.
Take me a while to get used to that, but
No, there are no other exits from here unless it's buried in the dirt.
all right. In which case, you know. Actually, you know what? I'll just check it with the gem of seeing.
You pull out the gem of seeing and look around. You find nothing of value.
Okay. Then I leave, and I will continue my journey. One other thing I will look for, just in case I happen to pass it, is the corpse of the chimera that we killed out here.
No, that has long been eaten by anything that might have come across it.
Sure. I didn't see any chimera caves while I was traversing the hills, did I?
You did not see any chimera caves, no.
Okay. All right. Let's return.
Right? Yeah, you definitely didn't see any chimera caves. You fly your way back to Shirebrook
Yes.
and arrive wherever you want to be.
I'll fly into Aldrich's tower.
Okay. You're gonna have to probably change into a Wren or something because you won't fit into his tower.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah. No, of course. I might watch the town from the window, perched on the window as a regular-sized eagle, for a while.
It seems to be bustling about a little bit, not as much as you're used to it looking. But there are people moving around doing their daily businesses.
As I'm sitting there watching, I see a scene of a small child playing with a large dog, happy as anything, in the center of town, and a light bulb flicks in my mind, and I fly to the ground, turn into a person, and go and approach this child's father or something.
Turn
like
into
that.
a stranger or turn into Malachi?
Malachi.
Okay.
Yeah. Speak to this guy's father.
Alright, the father is standing nearby. Currently trying to sell somebody a big block of cheese.
Ah, cheese. I'll take some.
You see? I told you this cheese was going to go quickly, and now you missed your chance. Now, Mr. Malachi, I am so grateful you came. This is the greatest block of cheese that has been produced in Shirebrook. I tell you, my cows are the best, and I know just the right fermentation process. Please, would you care to sample some of our very mild cheddar?
It sounds wonderful. I'll take some. I take a bit and then say, "Oh, how much for the whole wheel?"
For you, my lord, I can give you the discounted price that I give to those people who are saviors of our late Baroness.
Thank you.
We got butter, but we don't have cheese. That's ridiculous. Butter and cheese should probably be roughly the same price.
I think cheese is a bit more expensive.
Okay.
Age and stuff.
Yeah. So it's going to be 4 silver for a pound, and it's like a 4-pound block. So 16 silver.
All right, I give him 2 gold.
All right.
Take his wheel of cheese and say, "Hey, that's a lovely dog you've got there."
Oh, well, thank you. Old Chris has been with our family for, I don't know, 6 years now?
I'm looking for someone in town that knows about dogs. Maybe wherever you bought Old Gris here, or maybe you know someone else in town who's not an expert, but, you know, well read.
I couldn't say anyone I know is well read, but if you're looking for a person who knows a little bit about How to raise a dog? I got
Yes.
old Gris from from Mrs. Miller.
Mrs. Miller. Could you point me in her direction?
Why, certainly. Just head down this street, and it's the third left on your right.
Third left on my right. Okay. I go and track down Mrs. Miller's house.
All right. You find Mrs. Miller's house. Mrs. Miller's outside, hanging some laundry on a line.
I'll knock on the side of a wall. Mrs. Miller, I'm
She
told.
looks over towards you, gives you a cautious wave, and comes across the yard to you, putting her hands on her hips. Can I help you?
How old is Mrs. Miller?
Good question. Let's roll. Let's do our randomizer.
She's got a few years left in her yet. I don't want to invest in someone who's going to die.
Not 16. She is probably in her 60s.
Mrs. Miller, I'm told that you're somewhat knowledgeable on our canine friends. Doggos,
Eh?
if you
On what?
You know. Doggos.
The hell's a doggo?
Like a dog, a hound.
Oh! Yes.
Well,
I'm an expert on bitches. And hounds.
that makes two of us.
Hmm.
Well, look, the thing is, I don't know if you ever met my dogs, Mrs. Miller. Did you ever meet my dogs? They were...
How would I have met your dogs? I've never even met you.
Well, you might have seen them around town. I know I attract a lot of attention. Beautiful animals, anyway.
Were you the ones with the little dogs that rode on top of each other?
No, not that. Big dogs. A Newfoundland and a Malamute. Anyway, I don't know, it's tough memories, you know. Anyway, I got them from this guy in Clydesdale, a kennel
Look,
master.
mister, I got shit to do today, so
Oh,
come
will
on,
you just
pick it up.
Bear with me here, please. Thank you. If you listen to me, you might make some gold. All right. This guy in Clydesdale runs a kennel mastery up there. He breeds dogs, trains them to fight. Now, we could do something like that around here. I've got the gold, but I haven't got the time to go around tracking down breeders and bringing puppies here, setting all that up. Look, no offense, Mrs. Miller, you're in your twilight years. Maybe it's not for you. Maybe you're looking down to
Excuse me?
sell.
In my twilight years, I can still bend you over my knee. Come over here on the other side of this fence, and I'll show you what's what. Huh?
I bet you'd like that. Maybe we can do that if we can agree terms. So look, maybe you've got a daughter or someone else you know who's interested in running their own business. And I'd like to fund someone to set up a kennel masters here in Shirebrook.
Why should I trust you, a total stranger off the streets, that say you want to hire me to run a kennel?
I'm sorry, Mrs. Miller. You lived here for a while? Do you know? I don't mean to sound arrogant, but do you know who I am?
Who the fuck are you?
I'm Malachi, the mage, the Baron. Soon
The
to be
Baron?
Soon, yes.
Is there some dwarf that's the Baron right now? You don't look
No,
like a
he's
dwarf to me.
He's not the Baron. He's just a Chancellor.
What's the
Look.
difference?
He carries out the will of the Count.
Isn't that the same thing as a Baron?
Not really, no. But you're smarter than you look. There's some truth to that, actually. Look, I'll show you what I mean, though. Look, I cast mirror image.
She shudders back a little bit. Oh,
See what I mean? So
that's some trick, I'll say.
maybe you don't
you-
recognize me, but maybe you recognize my friend here.
Are you,
this guy?
Are you a demon? Have you
Not a
been summoned
demon.
from the outer planes to come and steal me? Steal me away?
You think quite highly of yourself, Lady Miller. No. I am but a humble wizard.
Huh. No wonder I ain't heard of you know what. I don't deal with them sorcerer, warlock types. Up to no good, I say.
Well, could you recommend somebody else? And I'll tip my 12 caps to you and bid you adieu. Since you don't work with wizards.
How much does the... What? Can't rightly recommend someone when I don't know what I'm recommending them for.
Well, it would be an honest business that hopefully would make enough gold to keep...
Can you all stop talking at once? It's too hard to pay attention. I can't... Who am I looking at? Which one's you?
Hey, give me a hand here. I'll hand her... Like, I pick up like a broom off the thing and say, start hitting them, you'll get rid of them soon enough. So I might take a hit. I might take a hit with a broom, but eventually we'll
There's 12 of them, did you say?
No, it's not. I don't know how many it is.
Okay.
Like D4 plus 3 or something. Let me check. D4 plus 2.
Roll me a d4 plus 2.
5.
Okay. So then I'm just going to roll 5d5.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
And you're going to be number 1. And so the first one she swings is not you. Then not you. Oh, then she whaps you on the third one.
Okay.
With a 12 to hit, actually.
Oh, armor, actually. Doesn't get me.
Ooh,
but then it wouldn't get the mirror image either. So it has to be a hit for it to even matter.
Okay, I guess I'm only rolling things that would hit you then.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay.
You should roll a D5, then a D4, then a D3, then a D2.
Right. Yeah, that's the way. So she does reduce a stone skin charge of yours. Goes to smack the same image a second time. Completely misses, moves on to another. Alright, whatever. She eventually knocks them all off. You lose a single stone skin charge. That was fun.
Okay.
Okay, now. Okay, so you want someone to breed some dogs for you.
Yes,
and you're willing them to give them gold for it.
I will fund the initial setup of their business, with the business hopefully to pay me back over time, and to provide me and the town with dogs, but also a profit to the business owner. It's an interest-free loan. I'm willing to offer it to you, Mrs. Miller. You come highly recommended from that guy down the street with an old dog. But if you're not up to the task, I'll give you a gold coin.
I don't know nothing about starting businesses, but I can breed dogs. You want to hire me to breed dogs for you? I can breed dogs for you. You want to hire me to train dogs? Well, I'll do what I can for you, but I don't know nothing about setting up no business or turning no profit.
Okay, well, look, we'll come to that. First of all, have you been to the Kennel Masters in Thornwood?
Do I look like I've ever left Shirebrook?
Alright, well, it's time for you to take a trip, or maybe you can pay your son-in-law or your son to go for you. But I'll give you some gold, and I want you to procure the puppies and the dogs you might need to start such an endeavor.
Is this for real?
This is for real.
Show me some gold. Prove that you're not just making stuff up.
How much would you sell a puppy for?
Give them away, really. More pests than useful to me.
Well, let's call it 3 gold for a puppy. Let's say we want, I don't know, how many do you need to have to avoid interbreeding?
3 gold for a puppy. Is that how the rich live? Just throwing gold around for things that are free? My God. You know, your mother clearly never taught you how to work with normal people. I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth or nothing, but at least I know how to talk to a person without being offensive.
Look, Mrs. Miller, I've had a very successful few days here, and honestly, you're sounding rather familiar to quite a lot of people that I've spoke to in this land. And I'd rather you just draw that in a little bit, and we might be able to work together a little bit more smoothly. So look, here's 35 gold pieces. Go and get yourself transport to Thornwood. Go and speak to the kennel master there. If you get on well with him and you're such a likable woman, I'm sure you will, and he'll give you some tips on how to start something like this off.
Her jaw drops a little bit as you hand her 35 gold pieces. the equivalent of 10 years of wealth for her.
Yeah.
She goes through it and like bites each individual coin, looking for, for some softness in it.
Yeah.
Comes back scratching her head. Suppose I do this and I get you these dogs and I bring them back here and I suppose that all goes according to plan. Well, who are you? What's your name?
My name's Malachi, and hopefully by the time you get back, I'll be sitting in the throne in the keep.
Well, I guess I don't know much about what goes on over there. Perhaps you will be. What is anyone going to come looking for this gold?
Only
Just
me.
looking down the street. This
No.
something illegal?
There's plenty more where that came from. Don't worry, it won't be missed. But if you betray me, well, like you said, you don't know who I am, but I can promise you that won't end well for you.
She holds the gold tightly in her hand, and I can keep whatever's left over from this after purchasing dogs.
If you can get it going, bring the dogs here, get everything set up. If you need more gold to buy supplies, I expect a list and thoughtful consideration to tell me why you need the gold, but it'll be provided for you. So yes, you can keep whatever, take yourself your wage so that take twice what you earn as salary, and then use the rest.
She holds the money in both of her hands and gives you a slow, unsure nod. And goes, "Okay,
All right.
Thornwood, huh? What's the place like?"
It's nice. It's a smaller city than Shirebrook, but it's all walled up. Buildings are nice and high. Run by a lovely chap, Lord Song. Probably wouldn't. Probably best not to talk to him. I'm sure you won't anyway. But just go in there. You can ask one of the guards where the kennels are. You shouldn't be there for more than a night.
Well, don't expect me to go bowing and scraping and malording you and nothing like that. I'm a free woman, always have been. Ain't gonna be tied down by no man, not even a lord like you.
I wouldn't have it any other way, Mrs. Miller. We're to be business partners, not subject and lord.
Good. As long as you got that right, then all should be well. I'll go get some... What sort of dogs are you looking to be getting? So I knows what to get. Are you looking for, little lap puppies, guard dogs, hunting dogs, war dogs, tracking dogs?
Fight some war dogs and some tracking dogs. More war dogs than tracking dogs, but if we can get some bloodhounds in there, that's good.
Bloodhounds, some mastiffs.
That's right.
All right, well, I'll go see about what I can do for us. So I ain't never been to Thornwood. Do I need to buy a new dress?
If you want.
All right, well, all right. And where do I find you? What if you're not in the throne room?
I'll be in the keep either way, whether I'll be in Aldrich's tower or in the throne, one or the other.
Aldrich's tower. Who? Aldrich, isn't he that wizard feller?
Yeah, he's left.
You're different from him, though.
Yeah, I'm much friendlier. I don't know, though. I've got a feeling you might have got on with him. You remind me of him a little bit.
Well, I don't know what that's supposed to mean. So just speak plainly and we'll be all right. And
yes. Anyway, I think I've spent quite enough of my time discussing this matter. You need to prepare yourself for your journey. It's a day or two to Thornwood, day or two there, day or two back. I'll see you in 5 or 6 days.
Alrighty then.
All right.
Still clutching the pile of gold in both of her hands, she walks backwards without, turning her gaze from you, and opens the door behind her and goes into the house, keeping her eyes on you the entire time.
I make sure that no one's eyeing her up as she walks back into the house with all the gold.
Oh, totally. There's a trio of people across the street who have stopped to watch this entire spectacle.
I'll just turn and say to the street then, I trust Mrs. Miller will be safe before our journey.
The people can go back to the conversation they're having before, trying to ignore you.
Yeah. All right. I leave. All right. I think then I go back to the keep and more determined than ever to find out about smoke methods.
Okay. You arrive back at the keep. And we still got a little bit of time if you have anything else you think you can do today.
I'm kind of waiting on a bunch of stuff
Yeah.
to finish up for me. I've sent my men out.
Okay, so we can skip forward a few days then, and we can at least unravel a little bit of stuff while we have time.
Yeah.
Because Rohana will be IDing things today, so tomorrow.
Yeah. So we can get that done.
Back. Yeah.
Cool.
Let's skip forward at least to the next day. Rohana comes back to you in Aldrich's tower with some good news.
Haha. Yes.
Her spell was successful.
Brace yourself, Bastian.
He's not watching.
Well,
at least he's not supposed to be watching.
Okay, but he's going to see it at some point.
Yeah, it's true. She tells you that these are daggers of returning. You hurl it at something with intent to strike it. It will return to you. Do you have to miss, or does it return on a hit too? I've forgotten.
Nice. Can I look at it in the DMG?
I can't even find it in the DMG myself. It might not even be in the DMG. Hell.
Oh yeah.
Might have just been a custom thing. I gotta go find my actual notes on it from before. Heroes. On notes. You're so slow to load. Oh, I lied. No, they are daggers of throwing, not daggers of returning.
Daggers of throwing.
Different dagger. I was mistaken. Daggers of throwing.
Holy shit, these are good.
Let's see. When thrown, they will demonstrate superb characteristics as a ranged weapon. The magic of the dagger increases its range. A successful hit will inflict extra damage.
Twice the normal dagger damage, plus the
Yes.
bonus provided by the blade.
Yes, but she just tells you, well, yeah.
Alright, does she only get one property?
She only gets one property.
But she can try again on the other dagger.
She did and failed.
Oh, okay. Alright, so just that it's a magical throwing dagger.
Yep, magical throwing daggers, they fly farther and hit truer than anything else.
Okay, I suspect that it might have a magical bonus. I will try and pin down if I can find a guard willing to spar with me. We haven't got any cure spells, have we? Maybe I'll ask. Maybe I'll ask Father Owen.
He's not going to waste cure spells to help you determine the properties of a magical item. But it's a throwing dagger, so you could probably set up a target and then, throw 100 normal daggers at it and then 100 daggers of returning and average your, your bullseye chance.
Yeah, so has Aldrich got a portrait in his room?
I kind of want him to, just so you can throw something at it. So sure, he has a portrait of a lovely woman.
Oh, it's not of him. I was hoping it was going to be him. But yeah,
yeah.
So it's a woman, is it? Aldrich's got. Does she look too good looking to be Aldrich's wife? Like she looks like she's just a beautiful woman in a painting, or is she sort of normal enough that it could be his wife?
I don't know what you mean by if she looks too beautiful to be Aldrich's wife. What sort of bullshit is that?
Well, it's like if somebody showed you a picture of a girl and it was like a Victoria's Secret model, you'd be like, oh yeah, who's she? But if someone showed you a picture of like a girl who's attractive but a bit more normal,
she's not astoundingly. It's not like some pinup that he has on his wall.
Yeah, right. I might check. Now that I notice it, I'm gonna take it off the wall and check if there's like a note written on the back or something like that of the frame.
Yes, it says Aldina.
Aldina. Aldina, maybe it could be his sister. Does it look a bit like him?
Yeah, looks a little bit like him.
Could be his sister, Aldina. Alright, well, hang it back up. Let's do it.
Throw daggers at it.
Yeah.
God.
On the assumption that this will help me determine the magical bonus.
Sure, you'll spend an afternoon hurling daggers at Aldina.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Yeah, they're +3.
Holy shit. Well, I haven't got a dagger proficiency anyway, so.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
But. So, for next time, maybe. Depending on how well Gary does. I was mentioning it to you off camera, but I might take a trip to Stromheim and try and recruit a spy master from the Thieves Guild there. Now, these would be particularly good rewards for a competent spy master. And it's someone like that with these weapons, I could trust them to do pretty good tasks. So let's blank that one for the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think maybe it's time to do some XP and
Sure.
stuff, since I do have work tomorrow.
Let's do that. So we are switching to 2-point Neal, so that means we're not going to be doing the same methods of experience generation.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so we're not going to worry about counting spells or that sort of thing anymore.
Cool.
Let's just take a look at big ticket items, and then I'll calculate role-playing experience and all that other stuff the way that I normally do them. So there was no appreciable combat today, but you did find the people who looted the jewelry store and recovered the jewels and all that stuff, mostly. You
did find the entrance to the lair.
You have
Sort of.
found an area of interest.
But that has been on the cards for a long, long time.
Yes, it has. If you can confirm that is the location in question, we'll give you a larger reward. But you've got a good fix on something. Let's see. You
I don't know.
Recruited Gary?
Yeah. Gary the Spy Master. Well, he's not Spy Master, yeah, he's just Gary, but, you know.
Recruiting Gary is going to be some experience. The kennel woman's going to be some experience. Healing Rohana is kind of... I think you promised to do that for her way back when you guys were first arrested.
We offered it to her and she said no.
Alright, but you've come around and healed Rohana finally. It's worth at least some experience.
Yeah.
Let's give you
What else
some
have we done?
role-playing experience.
We kind of... you know, we've honed in on a clue of the smoke methods.
Yeah. Let the clue be the clue.
Okay, that's fair. What else have we done? We, you know, set some inroads up with the nobility. But yeah, there was nothing really was resolved. We kind of planted a lot of seeds.
A lot of seed planting. Okay, so total experience for today is 3,750.
Hey, that's pretty good by our standards. 3,750. Is that including 10%?
It is not including 10%.
All right. 105,474. All right, less than 30,000 to go.
All right, only 10 more episodes, or yeah, a little less. 8, 7 more.
7 more.
Until, you know, unless you want to go fight something.
I'll fight something. I might go and kill the griffins at some point. The only problem is my way of killing them would be to fireball them, but that might destroy the library. I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't. Depends how firm the roof was.
And then, is there anything that I should, aside from what we've already talked about today, anything that you want to let me know so I can plan for next week? Like if you're going to wake up tomorrow and immediately start digging a well. No.
Nothing crazy. I think my my plan when Tyrus and Sturge get back are to have them accompany me to try and capture some bullywugs and drag them back to Shirebrook
Okay.
and interrogate them because I think that they might have something to do with the dragon. That might be false, but that's what I'm thinking. So I'm going to do that. I need to speak to Georg. I need to find some more about smoke methods, and I
But
might go into Griffins.
so it sounds like you're going to be doing a lot of skipping ahead. Would
Yeah, I feel,
you? How soon until you're going to go off to get the griffins? Are you going to wait until after these other things happen, or is that something you might do tomorrow?
don't know if I'd go on my own. How many Griffins were there? There was like 11. Seems
However
pretty
many you can
dangerous.
remember.
Um, yeah, I don't think that I'm going to leave before Venlin returns. Not significantly, anyway. I'll probably stick around until, unless for another couple of weeks at least, if he doesn't come by then.
Okay. Cool. I will plan accordingly. Each session, as the storyline continues, it's just getting more and more complicated, getting a hard web to weave.
Indeed.
But I'm
Are you?
excited to see where it goes. So that is our first episode of Hardcore Heroes Arcadia, and I'm glad it's not our only episode of Hardcore Heroes Arcadia.
If I'd have gone down into the canyon, would I have died? Well, I guess you can't say,
I
but
can't. All
potentially.
right.
All right.
Anything you want to say before we head out for the night?
Thanks for watching. See you. Oh, let's talk about next week. When should we play? These weeknights like this are perfect for me.
You know what? I say let's keep doing Wednesday nights until something comes up.
Perfect. Let's do it. All right.
Perfect. All right, guys. We'll see you next week on Wednesday at noon Pacific or 8 p.m. England
UK,
time. Yeah,
9 p.m. Europe.
9 p.m. All right. Bye bye, everyone.
See ya.